Hi everyone. I just feel a need to contemplate a little bit today on Hera. In my last post, I felt that I was writing about her and just writing about her negative aspects mostly. And I guess this is also coming from my personal experiences with Hera women, which were not really pleasant always. Um, but as a married woman, which I am for the last 2 years, I have to say that this sleeping and dormant part of me is awakening, and there's been a lot of thinking about Hera and contemplating about her and kind of befriending her and welcoming her into my life. The quality that I really, really respect and I really find pure and important is her ability to commit. When she commits to the marriage, when she vows, she basically takes this really seriously, and for her it is a ritual, it is a sacred rite, it is a sacred rite of passage. Um, what is not so good about her devotion is that she forgets about her life, her interests, her passions, and she starts to build her life around the husband, around his activities, around his success, around his position in the world and in a society, and everything starts to build up around him. And her expectation is with a marriage that they will both transform and that they will both grow and they will both somehow create this sacred union. And she often projects this ideal picture of marriage and how the marriage should be onto him. And this is the point where she gets lost. And it's a very tricky terrain, especially because we were all born in this society with lots of stories and fairy tales around the sacred union of male and female and the sacred marriage and how this is supposed to be. So we have a lot of images and idealized projections around this theme. So basically what happens when this transformation isn't going in a direction she imagined, she becomes very angry and disappointed and never satisfied in a way. And she can also become very vindictive, especially if her husband is not devoted as much to her, and if he's cheating on her, and if he's like choosing other women, then her rage becomes directed towards these other women usually. And also it can be directed towards children. So she becomes vengeful and she wants to take revenge to children. If he has like relationships with other women and children with other women, then she can take a revenge to other children also. And this is actually a very interesting part. So she's not angry so much with him, and she doesn't want to leave this toxic relationship. and she doesn't have enough stamina and courage to walk away from that. Um, but she persists, she stays, and she wants to somehow paddle through these rough times and difficulties together with him. And of course, all the other women are um, to blame. They are to be blamed. They are to be, it's their fault. They are the guilty ones. Yeah. So she's projecting and directing all this anger and frustration to them. Even though it's usually the way that either they were manipulated or they didn't know that he was married or and things like that, or they were abused in a way, you know. So this is the interesting psychological position and part uh, to be like contemplated and to be better understood. So why is she like that? Yeah. So she's probably really devoted to this sacredness of marriage, and she wants to keep up. She wants to keep up with this one chosen person. She doesn't let herself to be seen as a failure when if she would like leave the marriage and start her own life. And so she needs to dig really deep, really deep, really deep to kind of understand that there's a lot of creative power in this rage and in this frustration, and that she has inner strength to transform this rage and this power into a creative outlet, and that she can also nourish and nurture herself with this creativity. So, the most healthy expression of Hera with a husband who is not committed is basically to find this strength to live and to leave him and start building her life around her creative inner power and talents that are dormant within her. So to transform all these emotions, all this um, humiliation, anger, sadness into creative acts that are not harming others and that are not directed as, arrows to others, but are expressed in her creativity.